Alrighty, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dive Bomb Industries. I am just plain old Jeff Stanfield, sitting in with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Getting ready. Got just about a month and a couple days left till Squad Fest.
That's right.
June 11th and 12th, St. Louis, Missouri.
6 weeks.
It ain't that long, Jeff.
Well, it's got to be pretty damn close. It's the 5th today. There's 26 more days in May, and there's 12 days there. Would be 38, so 5 weeks then.
About 5 weeks?
5.5 weeks.
There you go. I'm right again. Math is not your strong suit, Jeff.
That's the third time you've been right in 3 years. So once a year, you're right on average. Okay. Are you anything else to say, smart ass, before we go this?
I'm ready, Jeff.
You're wearing that Bangtail whiskey shirt today, aren't you?
That's right.
Have you finished your bottle yet?
Getting close, Jeff.
Getting close.
I've cut back on my drinking.
Well, that's good. You pretty stupid with that drinking. Drinking damn sure ain't going to help you now. Thought with us today on the line, on the Skype, on Zoom, on YouTube, from Cook Saki. God dang, I knew I was going to fuck it up anyways. I tried the whole fucking time to make sure I was going to get this one right.
Cook Sock.
From Cooksaki, New York, Mr. Jordan Davenport. Jordan, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
We're doing good.
Guys?
Just living the life. What's it like living under that dickhead governor y'all got?
Man, if we could just get rid of him, it would be pretty good. I don't know why these people keep voting for him. It's ridiculous. I don't know. He is just... I heard that 12 accusers were going to be able to go mask-free again and start using Tinder mask-free. So,
you know, every time I see him, I think about his old nipples, old pierced, and I think, you can't have a more fucked up governor. And now we're going to have Caitlyn Jenner in California, but at least she's got a brain to go with her dumb asses.
Oh, yeah, it's getting pretty good. They're going to come out with a comedy movie here pretty soon, I got to imagine.
I am sure that.
That's all you can hope for, really, at this point, is just like maybe this was a big fucking documentary or something like that. I don't know.
How to fuck up a country.
Y'all are still like in masks and all sorts of stuff, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. So I just got back last week. I traveled the country turkey hunting, and now I'm back running clients up here in New York. But I didn't even realize that the mask thing was still a deal until I pulled into town and everybody started looking at me. And I was like, oh, I guess the masks are still a deal here, huh? I didn't even realize that they were really even still a thing until I got back. But, yeah, they're still a deal here. I guess supposedly we're supposed to open up back to 100% by, like, the 19th of May. Our numbers haven't changed really at all, ever. And so I guess they're basically just giving up on it. I mean, there's a lot of people vaccinated, but I'm not one of them.
You look at states like Texas and Florida, and there's no regulations, no masks, everything's 100%, and the numbers just keep falling through the floor. And I don't know why states like New York and Michigan and California don't look at states like Texas and Florida and think, Jesus Christ.
It's not about the people, it's about control.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's all politics.
They don't give a shit about that. I mean, there's not an imaginary line where one place everything is perfectly good and then another place where things are bad. I mean,
yeah, no. I got 2 prisons right here that border my farm, and I also am in EMS and fire, and them dudes are going there at least 4 or 5 times a day for COVID-related stuff, and then they sit here and try and tell you that it's not in the prisons. Well, it's definitely in the prison, and those prison guards are definitely using the gas stations that we're using, and that's how it's getting all around town, and how that it. In the beginning, it was coming up from the people from the city. When that really happened, New York was the epicenter of it. I mean, it was ground zero. And me being so close to it, number one, it shut down my guide service completely, like 100%. If I didn't have another job, and was farming and stuff like that, I would have been screwed. They shut down snow goose season. They shut down turkey season. I mean, and all these people flocked up here. And now we have a surge of new homeowners and new farm owners up in my area. I mean, they just flocked up here and bought everything they could.
Yeah. It's a mess. One day we'll get out of this. I don't know. So you said you traveled to do quite a bit of turkey hunting this spring. Where all did you go?
I started April 1st. I guided snow geese up here in New York. I finished my snow goose season here in New York at the end of March, and then April 1st I rocket rode down to Florida so I didn't have to deal with cold weather in New York anymore. And I started down in the Everglades. I worked my way up to Alabama, did Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then I just hit Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and then I'll go to Maine.
Christ. There's still turkey hunting in June in Maine?
Sure, we don't close here until
I guess that's
mid-May.
True. That's true. I just don't think of spring as being June, spring turkey hunting in June, but I guess in May it gets
fucking Maine. June spring doesn't start until May 5th.
Yeah.
Dude, so I literally ran a heater in the double bowl the last 3 days, and it snowed on Saturday.
And you said New York just opened up on Saturday, didn't you?
Yeah, New York just opened, and like my buddies that are guiding snow goose hunts across the border, like they're not even, they're like an hour and 40 minutes north of me into Canada, and they're still they're doing morning snow goose hunts and then mid-morning turkey hunts.
That's a long ass day.
There's still a good amount of snows up there, up on the St. Lawrence and just a little bit north of there.
That's what I'm thinking. Jesus Christ. I can't imagine still waterfowl hunting.
Yeah, so I only take off June and July, and then like 3 weeks in August to not hunt.
Yeah. So you're doing it right.
Of the year.
So
yeah,
let's talk about hunting in Florida in the swamps. So you're shooting, are the Osceolas you're shooting down there?
Yeah, that's what I was targeting. I hunted all public, and it was. I mean, I've hunted all over the country, and that was the toughest hunting I've ever done. I mean, it's like when they say thick, it is thick. I mean, you find your turkeys in the burn units, and there's a lot of burn units, but they ain't dumb. I mean, the one day I checked into one WMA, there was 186 guys.
So you're.
I mean, it was
how many acres
city.
is that?
It was 50,000 acres, but you have 2 check-in points that you got to go in from. So, I mean, one day you might have 100 at one check-in point and 50 at another, or people spread out. I mean, granted, I didn't really have many people mess with me, but I was also, like, the turkeys that I found were 6.2 miles in from the check-in station. I was walking like 2 hours in the dark.
God almighty, that's elbows and assholes with hunters and fucking boa constrictors and alligators.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing. Like, I'm not very much of a Yankee, but I'll tell you what, my Yankee came out in me real strong when I see a snake and alligator. We were like, you'd be waist deep in 1 minute, like, and you wear Crocs when you're hunting down there, like no snake boots, because 1 minute you're waist deep in water, and then the next minute you're dry, and then you're wet again. So, like, boots, you're gonna end up with swamp foot. So you just gotta wear Crocs and man it.
No way in
hell. It was interesting. I lived out of my truck for 24 days. Yeah, so I built a whole entire like bedroom in the bed of my truck and just lived out of my truck.
What about like a shitter and a shower?
I would stop in. I'd like get either I'd get a hotel room for like one night, or like most of the time I'd find like campgrounds with amenities, and I'd just stay at a campground with amenities. But due to COVID, I didn't really realize, and it really opened my eyes to how many people really went homeless over this. I mean, like, you're allowed to free camp on 90% of the WMAs in Florida. You couldn't find a spot. Because people were living there.
Was it sketchy then also? I mean, the people that are probably staying there?
Yeah. like this one area that I hunted, I told the girl that I took down there, I was like, we gotta leave. Like we were just outside of Tampa, and there was like MS-13 dudes like all over the place, and we found a freaking homicide area. Like it was, dude, it was sketchy. I found a huge pot grove, like El Chapo kind of shit, down in the Everglades, like 6 miles in. They built a whole entire little cabin out of freaking palm
And
leaves,
you stumbled
dude.
upon that when you were walking?
Yeah, when I was walking through the Everglades National Forest.
Did you report it, or you're just like niches get stitches?
No, there was nothing to steal anyway. It would have been in my pocket. No, there was nothing there. It was all empty buckets. Like they've been there like the year before.
That's crazy.
But it was wicked, dude. It was like something that you'd see on National Geographic.
I don't know about cool. I'd be trying to get the fuck out of there. Make sure nobody saw me there. I'd be worried about a bounty getting on my head.
Listen, if someone didn't kill me in the Wendy's parking lot the 4 nights before, they weren't going to kill me in that
You slept
woods.
in a Wendy's parking lot in fucking Florida?
Listen, you got to do what you got to do, man. Them turkeys are
God
hard
almighty.
gobbling.
Fuck, that's like staying in the,
I never
that's
said I
like
was all
staying in the
sane.
meth tents in fucking Austin, Texas. You're just asking to get shot or stabbed.
Yeah, it was like a 50-50. You didn't know. I had a pistol with me, so it was all
50-50.
good.
You like those odds, 50-50.
So did you see a boa constrictor when you was in there?
I didn't. I was very surprised. We actually didn't see any snakes in Florida. Alabama was the snake state. I mean, I didn't have snake boots. I was just wearing regular hiking boots, and I was about having an anxiety attack every quarter mile. I thought I
You
was
saw a bunch of snakes, or you just let your mind wander?
Oh no, they were like all over the place. Yeah, no, they were very lively and all over the ground.
Copperhead.
Yeah, fuck that.
Copperhead.
I hate
Yeah.
snakes anyways. Bullshit. That'd be it for me. I'd be in the
Yeah.
truck.
And that's the bad thing about like copperheads and water moccasins.
Yeah.
They don't make a sound. At least with a rattlesnake, you got a shot at him letting you know that he's there.
Oh, 100%. Like I was just walking in the dark,
Oh,
and I was
fuck.
just anticipating the thump. Like the whole entire time, I was just anticipating the thump. I know I'm gonna get it, but I didn't get bit.
So what did you do? Because I've got a stick that I carry around whenever I turkey hunt. Before my ass sits underneath a tree, I like fucking I use that stick and make sure there's no visitors nearby. Is that what you would do down there, or you just kind of prayed?
Yeah, I mean, I would look around and poke around, but I mean, I also, besides me hunting down there, I got a huge lodge in Arkansas that I run, and I mean, I'm used to cottonmouths and shit like that, so I look pretty good. It's just those copperheads blend in, man, especially there in Alabama with the oak leaves.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
No,
you ain't gonna see them.
no, but I do. I've got a big stick with a big with a blade on the end of it, and I'm sure to. I poke around and I get the tree beside me and I get the tree behind me, and I'm making sure that within about 5 feet I've got nothing but me. But but like I said, you start poking around a rattlesnake with one of these sticks, the fucker's probably going to come to life and start buzzing, and you'll know he's there. Copperheads, that son bitch is just crawling up your back before you even know what's hit you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the cottonmouths will even warn you a little bit. You know what I mean? They'll open up their mouth. They'll spit at you. I mean, the copperheads aren't going to do nothing. They gonna bite you.
Not good with snakes.
So how does a redneck grow up in New York State, and you hunt north of New York City, correct?
Yeah, so I'm just shy. Yeah, I'm just far enough out where you wouldn't know that I'm close to the city.
How hard is it to get? Do people actually hunt around Long Island and in the Hudson Bay and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, like there's a couple guys like Long Island Elite. They run out on in the bay in the Sound. That's a real big thing down there in Long Island. But that's really, and that's kind of why I was asking you. When you were messaging me, it's kind of a whole different breed in New York State. Like you got New York State, and then you got Long Island duck hunting. Like they're two vast, completely different things. I don't specialize in sea ducks. I don't personally like sea ducks. I don't have any desire to kill a sea duck. I love puddle ducks and I love honkers, and I specifically like killing puddle ducks
Well,
and dry field.
upstate New York is a beautiful place. I drove from Albany to Buffalo. Actually, I drove from New York City all the way to Buffalo. And that Montezuma's Wildlife Refuge. And I was very impressed. There's a ton of, I mean, it's a good looking place is what it is.
Yeah, and there are a lot of birds. I mean, I will get into it a little bit more. I don't understand with the regulations what they're going through. Me being out there every day, I don't see the change that they see. I see the duck movement changing. I don't see a loss of ducks or a loss of geese. I definitely see them changing their patterns due to winter weather. They're just not migrating south. They're staying here. I mean, they don't go further.
How
south.
was your season this year?
Up here in New York, it was great for me personally. I know some people they struggled, but September season was great. I killed right around 2,000 honkers. September season is my real time that I hit New York. We're allowed 15 per person in Canada's with no plug, extension tube, and e-collar. It's a conservation season.
Hold on. Y'all can use e-collars during y'all's Canada hunting?
Yes, sir. During September season. So I haven't run one in a few years. I mean, it is really effective, but I mean, if you got a couple good callers or yourself, I mean, they're Canada geese, no matter what. And I'll be honest, it's really no different here than it is. I talk a lot with Joey Hines and Nick out there, more Nick than Joe, but you can pretty much watch what they do, and that's pretty similar to New York. I've gone out to Rochester and hunted with them guys out that way, and it's all pretty much the same relative. It's just New York, people just don't really think of it.
Now,
it's just out of that.
Now you said that they're imposing some regulations this season. What are they doing?
Yeah, so the whole Atlantic Flyway, we got another kick to the shins. Basically, they're gonna reduce they already said it. They're gonna reduce our goose limit to a 30-day season this year, after the resident season, which is September, and then they're gonna go to a 1-bird limit for the whole entire Atlantic. And then that's going to be the same with the mallards. They're dropping our mallard limit from 2 to 1.
That's crazy.
So that's going to make
you can hunt the early season and kill 15 birds, but you can, once the regular season starts, you can only kill 1 bird.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. That they say that there's been bad hatch the last 3 years on those subarctic geese. I don't see it. I really, really don't. I just pray, New York we're supposed to be one of the biggest and most financially stable states. I know we're not right now with this idiot that we have he's bankrupt us. But we're supposed to be, we're the empire state. We're supposed to be leading this country by example pretty much. And I think that we're doing ourselves a terrible injustice by the biologists that we have in this state. It could be we have so much better potential for waterfowl in general in this state. And it just seems that the people in charge just don't really seem to really have the initiative.
Well, don't count on Texas for leadership.
Oh, you mean the biologist?
Yeah, I'm not
our biologist is a
fucking.
Don't even get me started. So, I think this is more political than it is anything. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. The East Coast is mostly all liberal blue states. And what a better way to get rid of a bunch of hunters than to frustrate them and keep them from wanting to shoot, and they're going to lose numbers. Because you're going to lose a lot of people that are interested.
100%. And I keep telling all my guys in Arkansas, I leave New York right at Thanksgiving, and then I migrate south. Daddy didn't raise a dumb kid that lived there, retired early. So I ball out of here. I ain't getting cold. I go down to Arkansas, and I'll do their whole season there. And, I could go on for years with that. That has been an absolute drastic downfall. And I keep telling these guys, I keep going, if you don't think for a second that these regulations that they're pushing on the East Coast and Atlantic Flyway isn't a tester for the rest of this country, you're ignorant. Because all they're doing is seeing how far they can get with this on the Atlantic Flyway, and it's just going to spread across the country. It's only a matter of time. You're going to only have so many shit years in the southern states before something happens where they're going to go, well, hold on, we need to do something. There's not being duck harvested anymore.
So your argument is that the geese and the birds they don't leave your area.
No, there's no absolutely, and this is right out there. There's no reason for these birds to leave the state of New York when the Finger Lakes do not freeze and will not freeze because they're over 1,000 feet deep, and there's no reason for them to leave with open water. The only way you're going to get these birds to migrate is with snow and snow cover and more than a foot of it. You have to cover the food for these birds to leave. There's no reason for any animal, and this is us included. We're not going to drive 40 minutes to a Chinese buffet when there's one that's identical 20 minutes away or even 10 minutes away. They're not going to do it. They're not going to waste the energy. It's just a proven thing. And that's basically what's been happening in the last 10 years from what I've seen. I mean, we had snow geese on the Finger Lakes until the last week of January. And conservation season starts the next week. They never even left. They went down to Pennsylvania for 2 days.
How old are you?
I'm 28. I'm going to be 29 in the end of the month. So I haven't seen very much, but I've seen a drastic change
your
in my
dad
time.
then, when he was a kid, did it snow a lot up there and it don't do it anymore?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we used to average like 180 inches. They got like 50 this year. Average a good snowstorm. Like when I say I'm getting a good snowstorm, like you got to take the screen door off the hinges to start snow blowing.
So,
like I've been here where we got 4.5 5 snowstorm.
Did the Finger Lakes back in the days? Did it used to freeze up, or is it never froze up?
No, there's no way they're gonna freeze. The ends will freeze, but it'll never freeze. I mean, I think Cayuga's like 1,200 foot deep, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's like the Great Lakes, like Lake Superior and stuff. They don't freeze completely up.
Identical. That'll never freeze up. You'll get the 2 bays at the end that'll lock, and that's it. And I mean, it's almost the identical scenario. Talking to Nick Johnson a lot, we've talked back and forth about it. It's very, very similar to what's happening in Chicago with the power plant holding warm water and cold water intakes and holding those birds in Chicago, and that's what really stopped that migration going down to Tim Grounds down there. I mean, that's basically what's happening to Maryland. These birds have figured out, well, hell, there's plenty of food right here. There's no reason for them to why would I fly to Maryland when I can go right
That's the same thing that we're going in the Midwest, and it's all come down to the thing you said is snowfall. There's no snow no more, and when you don't have a big snow coverage, the birds have no reason. Why would you leave Nebraska when you've got corn and water to come to Texas, and why would the birds leave Iowa to go to Missouri or to Arkansas and then on to Louisiana?
They're not going to. They're not going to waste that unconserved energy. They're not stupid. I mean, when you breast a bird out, you can see how much fat content that bird has. If that bird doesn't have very much fat content, it either flew its ass off or it knows that it's just going to cake there and it's not going to move and there's really no inclement weather coming. I mean, you open up a bird and he's got a ton of fat on him. I mean, that to me, it's not a tall tale sign, but it's not a guarantee. But I mean, that's telling me that bird was holding in some areas that were cold and it expected to be there for a while and it stored some fat up to prepare itself. I haven't seen that in 2 or 3 years in Arkansas.
So basically, the birds that you shoot for your conservation season are the same birds that you shoot during your regular season. And there's you go from 15 to 1.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, you get a small molt migration, but it just all varies. I mean, it depends on the year. I mean, some years we don't get anything, and then some years you get great years.
But what I'm getting at is why is there a 15 bird limit for conservation season, and then you can only shoot 1 or 2?
Well, they're trying target the resident population in September. And then once September season ends, that goes into migratory season. And those are the subarctic birds that they're trying not to target. The feds, they know where their birds are. A lot of people don't realize that. They know where these birds are and when they're coming through and all this data. And that's coming specifically off your band data and neck collars and stuff like that. So, I mean, they know when to cut these seasons off and when to when to open them up. That's the whole reason that they do these dates. Like, you got to see this place on September 28th. The season ends the 25th. I mean, if you don't think that the government agencies know when to time it, I mean, I could film it. It's absolutely absurd. It's like the floodgates open 2 days after the season because those are all migrating.
And the season's closed.
And the season is closed, absolutely. And they do that on purpose. They're doing that because they're trying to save those subarctic birds. They're not concerned about the rest of them. They're just concerned about those, and those are the birds that are nesting in Nunavut.
You get birds all the way from Nunavut coming over to New York?
Yeah, some Cunnaharkston. It just all depends. I usually kill a speck or two. They'll come out of like Greenland. Killed the Canada with a Tarsus band that was out of Greenland.
That's pretty badass, though.
So usually you get all that weird shit on hurricane.
Blows them over.
I don't know if it blows them over or if it pokes a hole in someone's aviary or I don't know. But I can assure you that on a hurricane year, you're going to end up with some weird shit coming in. I've killed brant in cornfields. I missed a barnacle goose.
What happened with the barnacle goose?
They just had, I've been watching that thing I was watching that thing for a while. I knew he was in there, and I was just trying to Brad Cochran him and just sit out there and just head hunt him. And he came in. I freaking missed him. I'll call spade a spade. I missed.
No,
never saw him again.
No, never. How close did he get, though?
The bird watchers got.
He came right in, 10, 15 yards?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll be the one. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, he did it. He did it. Believe it or not, up here I still see some orange and white collars from the James Bay project in the 2000s.
They're still around?
They are still around. There are still some around, man. They are pretty unbelievable. But I never really see them on the fall migration. I see them right in my front yard every year on the spring migration. I'll have 4 or 5 at least that'll come through. But that's pretty cool to know that birds from 2000 are still cranking.
21 years later. That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the cool thing about the East Coast is you see a lot of cool stuff, and they have a lot of recordable data on it. Like, this year we killed 17 honker bands in 25 days, and I think only 4 of them were local. So
now, does part of you want to not report that band so that they don't slash your limit a little bit?
I know people that are definitely skewing data. There's 100%, not even 100%, 150% of skewed data. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of people doing that. I don't do that. I don't like to do that. It's a double-edged sword for us hunters. It really, really is. I mean, especially you want to see the animal do the best that it can do, and you want to conserve that bird and conserve. I mean, there was a moratorium not very long ago over here on these geese. So wiping the population out is 100% possible. I mean, Maryland did it. Do I want to see that happen? Absolutely not. But I'll be the first one. I'm out here every day. I'll be the first one to tell you if I see a low population or if I see a problem with the population. And I got 3 surveys sitting on my counter right now to send in for 4 different states. I don't, and I tell all these states honestly what I see. I don't see the data that they're telling me, especially here on the East Coast. I don't see it. I got mallards up the
And you can
wazoo,
only shoot one.
and you can only shoot one. I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna go out. It's pointless. Like this year, I'm not gonna run duck hunts up here. I'm not. I'm gonna go down to Arkansas and run early spec hunts. It ain't worth my time. I'm not gonna go out there, even if you had 4 people. That's 4 mallards.
Now that's go ahead.
What else are you shooting besides mallards?
Not very much of anything. Not very much of anything. I mean, you'll kill some wood ducks. Wood ducks, green wing teal, blue wing teal early on, and then after that first part of the season, man, it is 100% mallards and 100% black ducks. I mean,
so you go to you'll go to Arkansas. Just you said right before Thanksgiving.
yeah. So typically I'll do New York September honkers. And then I'll do a limited amount of New York duck hunts, just with a couple of my clients that go down to Arkansas. Just I can't do enough of them up here to make it like a full-time business, especially with the limits and stuff. So I've been going down to Arkansas since I was 18 years old. Yeah. I run Duxmen Outfitters down there. That's in Wiener. Yeah, I've been doing that for 13 years, going down there, and it's been pretty incredible, man. I absolutely blessed with it.
And it's got to be so frustrating seeing the birds that you see in New York and just thinking about the kind of business that you could run in your own backyard if the government would just get out of the way and give you a legitimate limit. Even if the duck limit was 4, that would at least make it worthwhile going out. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you've got all those birds, it's got to be so frustrating.
It's nail biting. And your voice doesn't matter. Like, they have a waterfowl task force and, they ask for the public's opinion, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. They say it matters, but I know it doesn't. Because I'm putting my voice out there, and I know 40 other people that are sending the same exact email to them. And it's just, we'll just do the exact opposite of what everybody else wanted to do.
Yeah.
well, why the hell would you even ask? Like, I just don't understand the point. Like, don't ask for public input. Plain and simple.
I tell you,
a lot of politics up here. A lot of politics. I mean, it's really no different in Arkansas. It's amazing the politics in Arkansas.
It's every state. You made a comment earlier about y'all shoot blue wing teal early in the season. Where do y'all's blue wing teal go to for the winter?
So back to the I call them the community college biologists. They kept telling me that our green wing teal come out of the prairie pothole region.
No, the blue wing.
Yeah, and the blue wings, that's what they were saying. The green and blues were coming out of the prairie pothole region, which I found very, very, very hard to believe. I didn't believe it at all. I called the guy out. I was like, you're full of shit. He said that they fly completely east, hit the coastline, and then they follow the coastline all the way down to Florida.
Does Florida have that big a population of teal?
Well, it's funny. It kind of came full circle. So I called this guy out on his bullshit. And then this year, I had a client kill a banded blue-winged teal, and it came from North Dakota. And when I was in the Everglades and I was turkey hunting, I kept flushing up a shit ton of blue-winged teal. And one of my really good friends lives in Tampa, and he kills a ton of blue-winged teal on his duck hunting impoundment that he has there. And he guides tarpon trips over to the Bahamas, and he says when he's over in the Bahamas, he'll see huge flocks of blue wings.
Really
interesting.
So I would say yes. That what happens is I see them. They come through here. Some years they'll come through here in September, and some years we'll get lucky. They'll come through here that first week in October. It just really all depends on the weather. They're really temperamental birds.
Yeah, we shoot them here in September during early teal season, but we don't shoot very many blue wings once regular season starts. It's pretty rare. You never see a blue wing after Thanksgiving here. But I've always heard that, but I've never heard of anybody running a duck hunting operation in Florida, so I didn't really know how many ducks are in Florida. And
So when I was turkey hunting, there's a lot of people that duck guide down there, especially towards like the Kissimmee. I don't know the name.
Right.
I know I'm mispronouncing it, like Kentucky. But I met 3 other duck guides down there, and then I talked to this ranch trying to get pay a trespass fee to turkey hunt, and he laughed at me, and we got talking, and he goes, "I just bought this ranch for $12.57 million." And he goes, acres is going for right around $20,000 to $26,000 an acre around here. And I said, well, why'd you buy it? He goes, I bought it specifically for turkey and duck hunting. He goes, I got 7 cornfield impoundments.
Jeez.
Like, no way. In Florida. This is in central Florida, outside of Orlando.
That's crazy that's in Florida, though.
because you just don't hear much about it. I'd always heard that the blue-winged teal will go all the way to South America, almost to the equator, and then come back.
And there was a ton. I don't know if they stay there all the time, but I found an absolute ton of whistling tree ducks. Them things are all over the place now.
Yeah, I can believe that because we're starting to see them around here a little bit in the spring and the summer. We don't see them in the wintertime, but we're seeing more in the spring and summer. And 10 years ago, you used to not see any of them around here at all.
I had a client kill one in Arkansas one time on a spec hunt. I thought it was a canvasback because the thing came in. They look so funny when they're flying. They look just like a canvasback. They're so big. And that thing came buzzing over top of our head. I said, no way, that's a canvasback. It's going to cut back. And then it cut back, and it did it perfect into the spec decoys, and he shot it. I go out there, I said, oh, ooh, it's a fawless tree duck.
They go to I saw a picture in North Dakota the other day, and there was about a dozen of them on a on some flooded corn, and I thought, them fuckers are way out of their range.
Yeah, I got a picture of some right here at the Ithaca Town Park.
Yeah, they like parks.
In the thing.
Little bastards. I don't think we've ever killed one.
We've never killed one here. The Mexican or the full. I don't know if it's the same damn thing or not. There's a Mexican tree duck and there's a fulvus, but I think they're this. I don't know if they're the same things or not.
The fulvus has the black belly.
Ours does not. He's got like a copper belly. The one we have mounted here, one of our buddies gave us. He's got like a copper top, and then it gets about where your belly button would be, and then it's black.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is.
Yeah, I think that's a fawless, but I could be wrong. My man Pat Pitt would know.
Yeah, Pat's a fucking expert at anything like that. He knows more about ducks than anybody I've ever been around in my life.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. He's my neighbor in Arkansas, so me and Pat are pretty tight boys. I like that guy.
He is a walking museum when it comes to waterfowl stuff.
You ain't kidding. I could literally sit there and listen to that guy talk for years.
He's been everywhere, I tell you that. He's an interesting guy. So, in New York, when the closer you get to New York City, is it harder to get access to places to hunt?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. It's not really harder to get permission to hunt. It's just you start running out of agriculture. Then you know that buffer in between New York City and me is pretty much Appalachian Mountains. I live in Appalachian Mountains. You know, our mountains are 3,500 foot in elevation. So you have a limited amount of farms in those valleys, and especially now in 2021, like my county, I only know of one active dairy farm right now, and like there was 26 of them just on my road when I was a kid. So they're shutting down pretty quickly.
How close to New York could you hunt? I mean, you said where you are, you're like an hour or 40 minutes away from New York. How close do you actually get to New York City?
Oh, I've got fields that are 30 minutes outside of the city. Like the geese are roosting in the bay, and then they get up and feed out. So like mostly I'll do that for snow geese. Sometimes the snow geese will get up in the bays up in New York in Hudson Harbor and shit, and that way they pre-brine and pre-season themselves, so they sit in the brackish water, and then they fly out to the field. Sometimes they really like onions up here.
What?
Onions, stock.
They like onions.
Yeah, don't ask me. That's what I was saying. Pre-brine, pre-season. I don't know why garlic. They get into the garlic farms pretty, and this is a snow geese, not the
Right.
Canadas. The Canadas, they like anything. They could care less. Like I'll kill a limit of five birds right here in my front yard. I mean, they could care less.
I've never seen a garlic farm.
I never have either.
Yeah, the ducks really like the cranberries.
Now, I can see that. The garlic is what shocks me.
So now, if you eat a snow goose that's been in like this garlic field, can you taste the difference in its meat?
A little bit. It's just a little bit more than more gamey. I would say it doesn't have like a garlic flavor to it, but there's really not a whole lot of.
Giving you a phone call?
Yeah, but my phone is nonstop. I was guiding like this. I usually get like 60, 70 phone calls a day. It's insane. You guys got to be the same down there.
60 or 70? I don't know, Jeff. You getting 60 or 70?
I get a lot.
It's ridiculous, man. Between Arkansas and New York and fly fishing, and it's just. I need to do a rollover service is what I need to do.
Are you ever going to grow up?
Get a real job?
I surely hope not. I quit my real job to do this. So, yeah, no, I hope not.
I'm one to talk. I'm the same.
What did you do before this?
I went to school. I got a degree in fire science and technologies, and I was a paid firefighter paramedic. I just got tired of waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning for stubbed toes.
Yeah. That's a tough one to. That's a tough job to be in. That's a tough career because I mean I couldn't do it mentally. The shit that you see day in and day out, and it would just drain on me.
Yeah, I mean, back when I first started doing it, it was like what you're describing. But now in 2021, dude, you're just a welfare taxi.
I can see that too, and that would be another thing that would irritate me is seeing people that are working the system.
Yeah, I don't put up with that. As you can tell, I'm pretty straightforward. I don't put up with that. So if I pull up and you're faking it, or if I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to call you Uber. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
Don't you get sick and tired or find it ridiculous the people that have the all the fucking Narcan calls they get? Those big cities, they do the same runs, the same time on people, and they'll do 1 or 2 times a week have the same guy or lady, and I just said get so old.
It's not even the big city, man. It's right here in my little town. I mean, I carry Narcan right underneath the seat of my truck right now. I've Narcan probably close to 15 to 25 people in the last 2 years.
Have any of them ever taken a shot at you whenever they come out of it? Because that's one thing that we've heard from our paramedics that hunt with us is when you give it to them, you better have your hands up.
Yeah, they coming out swinging. I can assure you of that. They're pretty vicious. I mean, it's just it drops that high so quick. I mean, it's not even like they really honestly mean to swing at you. It would be like you being knocked out and then someone dropping you into a bathtub full of ice water.
Yeah,
like you're like. I mean, you're going to come out of it, and you're going to come out of it quick. So it's not even really like they're not really being violent towards you. They're just like,
what the?
It's just a natural reaction. I'd probably do the same damn thing if I was knocked out. But yeah, you better be ready when you Narcan them. Some of them you can hit them with one, and they'll wake right up. Some of them, you got to do 3 or 4, and then those guys aren't going to swing at you. When I'm Narcanning multiples, I mean, you're going to be they're going to the hospital. They're going to be unconscious for a little bit.
There's some of the people out there, though. There's got to be a time as a paramedic or a police officer or a fireman or whatever it is, and you're on there and you're thinking, fuck, this is the 3rd time we've done this in a week. Why the hell do we keep doing this? They obviously don't give a shit.
Oh, dude, I wasn't even working the EMS. I was just driving down the damn road. My old baseball coach, he OD'd and ran into the stop sign down the road from my house. I saw him slumped over. I knew he was freaking out. So I called. I got on the radio. I called. I was like, yeah, I got a guy over here. I Narcaned him. He woke up. Cop comes. Now, they can't arrest him in New York. We don't have jails right now. That's a whole nother discussion. They just built a beautiful $18 million jail right next to my house, and it has 0 inmates in it, but they have it fully staffed with guards and everything. Anyway. And the only reason that I know that is because I did a fire alarm activation there 2 days ago with the fire department. And I said, where are all the inmates? And they said, dude, we got that new bail reform. There ain't nobody in jail anymore.
So there's the way that they get bailed out, it's different now? So nobody's serving any
They
jail?
don't arrest nobody.
No bail. Yeah, everything's released under their own recognizance unless it's first-degree murder.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Welcome to New York.
So they built, you said $18 million jail, prison?
Oh, yeah.
And not a single inmate in there right now, and it's fully staffed.
Not a single inmate, and it is fully staffed.
But the union contracts, they can't let the guys go because they have a union contract with the state.
Yep, that's exactly
So they go home, they go play cards all day long. And they probably even walk the rounds. That's probably what's funny about the whole fucking deal. Is they probably still walk the rounds.
I literally said to him, I walked in, I was like, so what zone's the fire alarm going off in? Because, like, everywhere is sectioned. And they're like, I don't know. I was like, how do you not know? Like, the building in a jail, they have a special CO2 system that, like, if there's an active fire, it cuts off the oxygen. So, like, if it's that alarm, like, you're gonna die. Like, you should probably know.
Right. Yeah. I would figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, either that or you're gonna have about less than 5 minutes of air in that cell block.
So, God almighty.
So what happened with your old coach? What they do with him? Just let him go home?
So they have to let him go. So he RMA'd, which is refused medical attention, and every person you can't make a person go to the hospital. So he RMAs and drives off. And I end up Narcaning him an hour and a half later, 2 miles down the road.
Now, is this your high school baseball coach, or is this like a Little League baseball?
Oh, this is my Little League coach.
Okay. I was about to say, fuck it,
This guy's worse than Buttermaker off of fucking Bad News Bears, it sounds like.
He would just have a beer in his pocket.
I attempted to make him a wooden pickle, but it didn't work out.
What's a wooden pickle?
You ever watch Bad Santa?
Yeah.
Dude's kids look just like Thurman Merman.
Oh shit!
I don't understand how these people. I mean, how many times do you have to Narcan them? Fuck it, they want to keep taking this shit. Let them go,
dude. That is my whole entire gripe. Listen, this is it's.
Yeah, but you Narcaned him twice.
Not calling it a damn disease. It's not a disease. It is a self. You make the choice. You decide to put this shit in your system or not every single time you do it. So I don't want to hear that it's a disease. I've had family die from it. I've had best friends die from it. I mean, if anyone knows anything about it, I'm the first person to tell you about it. But it's your own choice. It's not a disease, man. Like, but you choose every day when you wake up what you want to do. I want to go turkey hunt. So I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I go turkey hunt.
Right, but you saved him twice.
Yeah, I didn't go for the third call.
Oh, okay. But that's what I'm saying. There's going to get to be a point where guys deal with the same. And this guy, you have a personal relationship with him. Let's say a fireman in Memphis, Tennessee, they get the same fucking phone call to behind the Burger King, and it's the same person all the time. Eventually, they're going to like, fuck, I guess the Narcan didn't work today very well or something. I mean, it's so frustrating that you're taking good time on an emergency call to take someone that doesn't give a shit about their own life.
I mean, it definitely eats up the emergency services.
Yes.
The biggest killer is, like I was saying, the welfare taxi deal. I mean, that is just getting to the outrageous point. When I first started EMS, we called it EMS, earn money sleeping.
Yeah.
We'd come in for a 24-hour shift, and you'd do, maybe 1 or 2 calls. You'd hang out, sleep, eat, whatever for the rest of the shift. Now, no. My little town, they're doing like 8 to 15 calls a day, and 7 of them are to the prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just the abuse of the system. The prison only pays the ambulance $100 per transport versus the average citizen that pays $2,200 per transport. That's complete abuse. They have a hospital in the prison.
Yeah.
but they still send them to the normal hospital.
Yeah, that doesn't make our whole country, everything about it is screwed up because we've bent over backwards to try to help provide for people, and they use it against us. Do you carry your Narcan with you all the time? So I guess when someone goes on a hunt with you, they get the full first aid group. Everything's right there for you in case something happens.
Oh yeah. Well, in New York State, to be a guide, you have to take wilderness first aid, and you have to have CPR, AED, basic first aid. It's a whole entire course. It's not like any other state I've guided in where you just go and buy it.
Yeah.
See, in Texas, we don't have to have anything.
Yeah, Arkansas, you just go to the grocery store and you tell the old lady there, "Yeah, I want to be a guide." And they just give you that old guide's license, and guess what?
You're a guide.
You're the next Tony Vandermoor, my man.
See, and I don't necessarily have a problem. I wish we would do something. We need to do something here at the lodge, like to be prepared. I mean, after our clients are Asian, and knock on wood, we've never had anything traumatic happen. But
I've come very, very close to myself dying, and I've come very, very, very close to having clients die. And I always carry Quick Clot on me, and I always carry a tourniquet.
yeah, I'm more worried about one of our old bastards having a heart attack out there. That's what scares me.
That's our problem. You carry some baby aspirin in your pocket and tell them to suck it up.
You know, we've been in business right at 30 years almost. I don't even a long time, and we've hunted thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And really, the odds and averages of us not having we've been really fortunate.
Like it grows every year. Though.
We had one heart attack, and I got him to the hospital.
He was here,
but he was at the lodge, and we got him to the hospital 9 miles away, and they flew him out, and he coded at the hospital here.
I thought they came here.
No, I took him.
Oh,
but that's the only one we've ever had. And he coded at the hospital, and he made it. But that's it. We haven't had anybody. We've been really fortunate. And I've had other friends. I've got a friend.
Did he come back?
Yeah, he's never been
No.
back. He's a friend of mine. He won't come. He's scared to death to come out here.
has a phobia. He won't cross the gate. Won't come back out here.
But
Oh my gosh.
But he's a friend of mine. I mean, we talk all the time. He's got it in his mental block that, instead of looking at it, hey, they saved my life out there. He's looking at his almost died
Almost
out there.
died out there. He's a glass half empty motherfucker.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that thing.
Couple broken ribs from the whole deal. I mean, you know how it is when you start doing that shit.
well, he worked for a company.
Man, when you do that first push, oof. Oh,
Feel them go.
that first push, man, that crunch, it gets you.
But I think that I would love to see our state. I hate the state or the government be involved in anything, but I like the idea of them making y'all have wilderness first aid and stuff because you could save a life. Now I don't even know what the blood clot shit is you said a minute ago, but
Just pour it over a wound, right?
Yeah, it's like a gauze, but they use it in the military. I use it up here when I was working for the city. We'd use it on gunshot victims a lot. And basically, like, if you get a gunshot wound and I can't get it to stop bleeding, I'm gonna throw a tourniquet on it, and then I'm gonna shove some Quick Clot in it, and that Quick Clot's gonna it has enzymes in it to make it clot up. It's gonna stop bleeding most of the time.
Did you see that shit that kid that was like 18 years old invented that they injected into you? It's a synthetic clot deal. That kid.
Yeah, it's basically identical to that, except it's like a gauze pad.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That stuff that kid made, I'm thinking, what kid's gonna be a rich kid? That's a hell of a lifesaver right there. And
like someone's gonna buy that in a second.
yes, that would be a hell of a deal. Just inject it right into a liver or something they've been shot. It just seals it all up where it's not bleeding anymore. That's amazing.
He's 18.
Yeah.
18-year-old Indian kid.
Motherfucker. I think it was an Indian dude that invented the tampon. They're just all about putting something in there and make that bleeding
Here we are
stop.
talking about a fucking blood clot deal saving life, and he's talking about a fucking tampon.
You don't think that tampons have saved lives? Feminine hygiene? You don't think that's a big deal?
I really would.
I got in Walmart the other day and realized I forgot a mask, so all I had was a maxi pad. I'll tell you what, it was hard getting it off. I got this beard; it hurt like a bitch.
You're a meme somewhere. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
It hurt like a bitch.
So he's like, look, this fucking Yankee here got a goddamn fucking maxi pad around his goddamn beard.
Yeah, they won't let you in unless you got something on there. So I mean, hey. Gotta do what you gotta do.
It is amazing the life that y'all are living up in these liberal blue states compared to people down here. You had to be in fucking culture shock when you left Arkansas to go to New York.
Yeah, well, it was the opposite. I was born and raised up here, so it was a culture shock for me to go to Arkansas and see what it was like to live in Syria for a little bit.
In Syria.
You know what the difference is between Arkansas and Oklahoma is electricity, and that's it.
Yeah, it's about there. Kansas was right there with it. Arkansas, I love Arkansas. It holds true dear to my heart. But by God, I wish they would have like the inmates or something walk on the side of the road like they do here and pick up some of the garbage. Good night, man. It's hard to boost your tourism when you just drive around and it looks like a landfill in the ditch.
You know, that's something. We had one person work for us. He was from Oregon, and that's what he said. In Texas, it's gotten a lot better, but he said it's crazy. Like, just people throw their garbage out.
Dude, I've never, ever been anywhere, and it's only the South.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. I go all over the country, and the South, they just take their garbage and throw it out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Job
expect
security.
someone to pick it up.
Job
No one does.
job security for inmates is why. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That is true. The farther north you get, the more. I don't know. I couldn't even give you an answer why.
Eco-friendly. Maybe we need some granola crunchers down here or something. I mean, just don't throw your shit out.
No, y'all can have all these cardboard straw bullshit.
How's that working?
It tastes like shit. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had a nice fountain Coca-Cola out of a cardboard cup and straw, but it tastes like cardboard.
Nope. Still waiting on that.
No, they have.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
No, there's somewhere down here that has paper straws. I'm trying to think of where it was at.
No plastic bags here either.
Everything's paper?
Everything's paper, and you got to pay for it.
Well, I would do that shit. I can't stand fucking Walmart. They're plastic sacks. I don't go to Walmart anyways, but you go to a grocery store now, and they got the cheapest shit in the world they get used for.
But
sacks
you got to
now.
pay for the paper?
Oh, yeah, 5 cents a paper bag. So I just walk out of there like an idiot with my hands full.
I'd pay
Screw them. I'm not paying them 5 cents for their bag.
They want you to bring your own.
Yeah, can you bring your own?
Oh, you can bring your own. I just don't have a full enough brain to remember the bag.
Yeah. That does suck. You
gotta
get there and it's like,
remember the bag.
fucker. Forgot my bag.
Bad enough,
I
I got to remember the freaking face mask. That's why I carry the maxi pads.
I got a mask I carry on my mirror just in case I go somewhere that requires a mask. Because you still run into some place here every once in a while that they won't let you in. Most places that won't take mask, I don't go to, or I just go in anyways.
Yeah.
And tell them I'm not putting a mask on. Our governor says we don't have to wear them here, so I'm not wearing one.
Yeah. I don't think you technically have to in New York, but the stores are mandated. They'll just tell you to get out.
Right. That's the way it is here. Texas is, our governor's lifted everything, but there's still some stores that, if you're going to shop there, they reserve the right to refuse service.
Now, I just had my client from yesterday, he came in from Vermont. He was doing one of his 49 states, and he said that they required him to show a vaccine card before they would issue him his hunting license, his non-resident hunting license.
No shit.
Really?
That's going to be a major, major player for some of the states then, because a lot of Southern boys aren't going to get shots. I haven't had a vaccine, and I'm not getting one. And I've thought about getting one. Do what?
You already had it, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, but I didn't. I'm not getting a shot. But now, especially now that I know for sure I had it, it's less than 1/10 of 1,000% you're even going to get it again. They say.
Yeah, I told my doctor I'd get the shot for herpes if they had it, but that's about it.
So out of state license in the state of New York, you have to have a COVID vaccine first.
According to this guy, I'll let you know because I want to go and hunt Vermont, so I'm going to try.
I saw somebody. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a hookup on one of them cards, so we'll see.
I wondered about that when we're going to start seeing that because that's going to happen a lot.
Because there's no like seal or there's nothing really to it. It's just fucking paper, and as long as the wording is right, it looks like a vaccination card.
Yep. When I was in high school, on all of our vehicles up here in New York, you got to have an inspection sticker for the emissions. And when I was in high school, like any high school kid, I wanted to have a glass pack on my '97 Chevy. So you couldn't have a cat. So it didn't pass emissions. Well, I couldn't get this damn thing inspected, so I said, well, I worked in a junkyard, so I said, screw this. I said, I'm gonna go and grab one of them inspection stickers off the cars. And then I went and I photocopied it in a color printer, and I cut it out and I hole punched it on whatever date I wanted, and I taped it up. Well, it worked for a long time, and I got pulled over one day, and the trooper comes up to the car, and he's like looking around doing his thing, and then he like does a real quick double take, and he goes, "Is that a photocopy?" And I just laughed, and I was like, "Maybe." And he's like, "Can you take that out of the window for me?" So I take it out, and he's like, "Yeah, it's paper." And I was like, I don't know how that got there. He's like, well, he's like, because I hate to tell you, that's a forged government document. You really screwed yourself. Little did I know. Don't photocopy or do anything with the government, because they wanted my ass for that. I ended up getting out of it, but they wanted my ass. They wanted to be a misdemeanor and like
And how old
kinds
were
of
you?
crazy stuff. All for a photocopy. So I was like
Oof.
17, 18 at the time. Like, I bet you I was 17. It ended up going to court, and the judge was like, it was just a photocopy. I was like, yeah. And he's like, talk to the DA, and the fact just leave. And I'm like, okay. So I got out of it, but they were hot to trot on it, and I got to imagine that's how they're going to be on this. They're going to be hot to trot on that vaccine card.
Generations haven't gotten any better. One of my buddies did the same thing, but he did it with a paper tag. A friend of ours, they owned a car dealership, and a buddy of mine had a car, and his tags were out and didn't have no money. And he told my buddy, he said, "Oh, it's okay. My dad's got temporary tags down in his office." We went down to his dad's office. He gave him like 3 or 4. He said, "Just write one in but you can't do it more than 30 days. And so we did it. Well, we're out riding around drinking beer one night, and this cop pulls us over. He runs his tags and come back. He goes, them are temporary tags. Yeah, those are temporary tags. He said, "When'd you buy this car?" 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
He goes, "Well, why do you have a temporary tag for 30 days if you bought it 3 years ago?" "Oh, my buddy, his dad owns this car dealer. He told on this fucking kid."
Oh, shit.
Cop chewed our ass out and let us go home. It was a little different world than it is back then, but
Terrible fucking friend.
I told him, I said, "Why would you tell on him?" "Oh, I didn't want to get in trouble."
Oh, I'm telling you, even the change from when I was.
That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts.
I get pulled over every year on Memorial Day tortured. Memorial Day weekend going turkey hunting is like guaranteed. I gotta leave an hour early because they're gonna pull me over thinking that I'm drunk and I'm the only person in the county that doesn't drink.
Yeah, you're out at an odd hour. They're like, that fucker's up to no good. Let's pull him over, see what he's up to.
Oh, instant, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, bam, look at that. And
Yep.
They are ruthless. I don't know how they are in Texas. They don't cut you no slack here.
Just depends on how you act. You get the right officer, and they're not going to fuck with you too bad. So, are you planning on leaving the state of New York like all these other people, or are you up there for the long haul?
Man, I mean, I'm up here, for the summer. But permanent plans, I don't know really, to be honest with you. I've traveled all over this country, and I haven't really found a place that I've been like, man, I want to live here and start a family and like do all that. And it's kind of like, I really like being a gypsy. Like, I get to see everything, and I get to do all this cool stuff. Like, my dad's 73. He didn't have me until he was 43 years old, and he hiked the Appalachian Trail twice and rode his bicycle from New York to California. And,
How long was that trip?
You got to have fun.
How long was that trip that your dad went on from New York to California on his bike?
It was a full year, I believe.
Well, you talking about a raw ass? God
Yeah.
almighty. Woo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he left right after Woodstock. So he pedaled out right after Woodstock.
How far is Woodstock
and
from
rode
where
out
you
there.
are? That's crazy. I
10
bet y'all
minutes.
got some crazy ass stories from some of the old timers around there about that.
Probably your dad.
Oh, yeah, you could go on for hours with my dad. My dad's a local, and like he was there from the start to the finish, and he had hair down to his ass until I was like literally.
How long of a festival was that? Was that like 2
Oh, yeah.
weeks or some shit like that?
Yeah, so they kind of got stuck in there.
Bunch of rain.
Because it rained. So Yeah, so it was like a 2-week event. It was only supposed to be a 2-day event. They just did a whole reenactment of it last year. I went to it. It was really cool.
So,
I'm not far from the
I met a
area that it
girl
was
in
actually
Jamaica
held.
named Woodstock, and she swear to God her parents conceived her at Woodstock was her story.
in the mud in Woodstock?
Yeah. I guess they could have called her Muddy Twat. I don't know, but they named her Woodstock.
So if it was only going to be 2 days and it lasted 2 weeks with like music and shit, how did they keep getting like artists to get in there?
I'm not really sure. I think basically everybody got mudded in
Oh,
there.
artists
They were
included,
just
so they're
stuck.
like, fuck it, might as well
And,
play.
Yeah. Like it was
Right.
legit just out in the hayfield. Like, and it rained super hard, and like all these people just got stuck in there. Like they were towing cars out for days.
Well,
and days and
that
days.
was like in the back of their mind, like that's like best case scenario because you're all pumped to go this 2 day
3
event.
days.
It was going to be 3 days.
400,000 people were there.
But how long did it last?
Okay.
It says 3 days, but I think that it was a long time before they got everybody the fuck out of there, like you said.
Oh, okay, I see. So
Yeah.
it was 3 days.
It's scheduled to only be 2 days, but it actually went an extra day of people on stage, and then it just took a long time to get everybody the hell out of there.
That was the excuse those people were looking for. Like, that's too fucking money
They
for
only
me to
thought
leave.
they was expecting 25,000 people, and there was 400,000 people showed up. That's a little oversight
Yeah.
or undersight, I guess.
Yeah, the traffic was blocked all the way from Woodstock all the way down to like 3 exits before New
Traffic
York City.
was? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And like the hayfield's pretty big.
Oh, really?
I've goose hunted it. Yeah, actually, we went to the reenactment last year, and it was with Santana and the
Oh, that would be
Doobie Brothers and a bunch of people. Oh, it was fire. It was even more fire because I left the girlfriend in the stands because there was a sick goose feed across the street, and it was 3 days before opener. So I ended up going over to that lawyer's house and BSing with him. I sat on the porch listening to it there for half the show, and then I went back over and met with her. But I got on the goose feed.
So that's pretty badass that you goose hunted the field that they had Woodstock
It's
in.
300 acres, and they guaranteed the town folks, the town people did not want to have it, and they guaranteed them there'd be no more than 50,000 people there, and they showed up with 400,000. And they pre-sold 189,000 tickets, and they didn't tell the townspeople.
Cocksuckers. But what's even more interesting about that is like it's not like today where you can put something on Instagram or Facebook and like millions of people see it. Like you got to like pass out flyers, and I don't know how they advertised then, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's all word of mouth back then.
Jimi Hendrix was the headliner, and there was 450,000 people when he went on stage. That's a ton of fucking people.
Yeah. Like that would have been the most.
Oh,
I
epic
guarantee
party.
you.
Yeah.
Your dad had to be like just shooting fish in a barrel there.
Oh my. Oh, dude, that must have been insane.
That's
Absolutely
crazy.
insane. And like the field's not really that big. I mean, like when you go, the place is called Bethel Woods now. But when you go to Bethel Woods, they have like there's nothing on the actual area on the hillside where the venue was, and then like they have an arena, on the back side of it. But like you look at it and you're trying to picture 400,000 people on that hillside. I mean, that's a lot, man.
I did not realize they played all fucking night too. The Grateful Dead. Yeah,
Yeah,
Grateful
it was
Dead went on at
24
10:30, and they played one song that was 50 minutes. After the Grateful Dead was on, Creedence Clearwater Revival come on, then Janis Joplin. Boy, that would be awesome. Sly and the Family Stone, The Who, and Jefferson Airplane. And The Who played at 5 a.m. in the morning. Janis Joplin played from 2 to 3 in the morning. Then they went to Joe Cocker. I mean, that's just crazy. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Epic lineup.
And then Jimi Hendrix played from 9 to 11. He played 2 hours the last night.
That motherfucker probably didn't know that 4 people were out there. I guarantee you, that fucker was stoned out of his gourd.
What a fucking deal.
Yeah.
And to play. So how many did they say they were going to sell? 50,000. That's what they told the town.
Promised them, but then pre-sold
Right,
189,000.
but they told the town they're going to cap out at 50,000.
Right.
And then they fucking play music 24 hours a day for 3 days. I
Yep.
bet there were some pissed off old people there.
And Bob Dylan lived in Woodstock. Does he still live up that way?
I think he still does have a house. I'm not really too positive how often he's really through. Honestly, I end up seeing freaking.
Oh, she lives by
more
you?
than anybody. Yeah, she doesn't live very far from me at all. She'll be at the diner. I always tell her I have to go home.
She's an old cunt, boy. Her and Slick Willie. So do you see him much too?
I gotta. Not really. Now my neighbor, the guy that lives just below me, there's a private community below my house here, and my neighbor's Chevy Chase.
Really?
He's all right.
He's getting old. I saw a picture of him not too long ago. That fucker, he's aged a lot.
Now, Chevy's not a hunter, is he?
Yeah. Well, no, he drinks quite a bit, so he ages. He's up.
He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's not too bad.
Yeah.
He's pretty outgoing.
So where do you see him at? Just in the town?
And then the guy. Well, I see him every day. He's literally my neighbor. But yeah, he's always down at the bar downtown. Usually every night he'll go down and hang out. And then the dude with the huge nose from Home Alone, he lives down there too. I
Stern,
can never
I think
remember
is
his
last
name.
name.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not.
He's not very outgoing.
Keeps to himself.
No, he acts just like the criminal that he was in the movie.
You're just in a fucking who's who little land right there. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm only, I'm just outside of the city, and the Amtrak station's right here. So all these people just jump on the train. They can be here on the train.
Right.
You can be here in 35 minutes. I mean,
And they're living in paradise compared to living in New York City, so you can't blame them at all.
Yeah, until they meet my Tenorite shooting ass. I took that Tenorite off, and they got the state troopers here in about 6 seconds flat.
This redneck neighbor of mine's blowing shit up. You need to go check him out.
And it's funny. Hillary Clinton's living in the perfect place because up there people like her. If she lived in the South, she'd get fucking booed out everywhere she went.
Yeah, for $45.
Fuck that.
I
Look
at
that.
house.
American capitalism right there,
Yeah.
baby. $45. Good Lord.
See the one.
Yeah. They live directly next door to the Culinary Institute of America.
That's interesting.
That's just crazy.
That is interesting as hell.
And you got some of the best honker hunting in the world.
No,
That's badass.
It's pretty fire.
Well,
It really is.
If we could just get her.
well, man, we've appreciated you being on here. It's been a really entertaining podcast, an interesting guy, and we appreciate you being on here with us.
Man.
We really do.
I appreciate
Tell
you
them
guys
your website.
hit me up. It's www.duxmenoutfitters.com, and if you're looking for a New York hunt, just find me on Facebook or Instagram at Jordan Davenport or at Pro Staffer.
And then you
or
also
at
run
Duxmen.
in Arkansas, right?
Yeah, that's www.duxmenoutfitters.com. That's you got a 10,500 square foot lodge, full game room, 2 chefs. I can lodge 31 people. I got 7 full-time guides. So that's a pretty big operation. Got right around 150 pits that we rotate out.
Sounds like a winner down there. Well, Jordan, you take care of yourself up there. Be careful with that maxi pad. You don't want to rip out too many more hairs. And tell Chevy Chase to be good, I guess. Not call the cops next time you shoot that Tannerite off. All right, buddy.
I will.
Hey, thank you, buddy. God bless you.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
Jordan Davenport.
He's got more interesting neighbors than I got for sure.
Yeah, no shit. Right?
That's a cool area up there. Pretty place.
I just can't. So with the Amtrak, it's 30 minutes. So yeah, I mean I guess that's where all your.
Would you want to live in New York City if you could live out in the country?
No. But I mean, it makes sense why they're there. They can just hop on a train and they're in the
New York,
city in
that's
30
right.
minutes.
And somebody like Chevy Chase will use as an example. So talk about him. Guy can live anywhere in the United States he wants to. He probably does business and likes being around New York City, but don't have to be there.
Right. He just got to put up with Tannerite every once in a while.
He'd be a cool neighbor for me.
Chevy Chase?
No.
Oh, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, Chevy Chase wouldn't bother me, I don't think. I'd rather have him than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, no shit, right?
I'm gonna be in the same state as that bitch.
$45 and you can tour her house. And what's bad is there's probably a waiting list for that.
I bet there's not. I bet that's $45 because they're just trying to get fucking people through the door. They've had some since the Clinton Foundation. She didn't get elected. That killed them financially.
That was her golden goose.
Well, yeah, they were going to keep getting money put into. Everybody was giving money to them for favors, and now they don't have any favors to give. They don't have shit. I mean, they still live better than we do. Hell, Bill has a $500,000 a year, but he's probably got a $500,000 young girl fucking bill every year too.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you're Hillary, do you want to do that?
Did you see that picture of the Bidens with the Carters?
No.
It's all over social media. The Carters look like they're 4'3" now, and the Bidens look like they're 6'8".
What?
It's a fucked up picture. You have to look it up.
Well, I just will, Jeff.
It's all over, and it's released by the Carters. But it's something's fucked up about this picture.
The Carters released it.
Yeah, President Carter and them, the Carter Foundation or the Carter whatever it is, released it. You just go.
Why would they release it if it makes them look bad?
You just look at it.
Doji, motherfucker. It's just
63.
I don't know.
It's up. It was 63 cents a minute ago.
I'm finally in on it, Jeff.
Good.
I'm in on it at 29 cents.
So right now you've made double your money.
That's right, Jeff.
So you know that. I don't want you thinking you've made $4 million again.
Okay, so President Carter
with Biden, with President Biden.
With Biden. Now, did I see? Was it Carter that shot the turkey not too long ago?
I doubt it. The motherfucker's 150.
I think he did. Is it the one them sitting down?
Yes. Look at that. You told me that. Put that up on the big screen.
I'm trying, Jeff. Hold your horses. Takes a minute.
Now you tell me that don't look fucking normal.
Well, I mean they're just sitting down.
I understand. It just.
Yeah, he did. He shot a turkey this year.
Yeah.
What doesn't look right about it?
Well,
she
looks like a dwarf.
I'm sure
that it's the way the picture's made. It just doesn't look right. I mean, look at the teacup over there compared to Biden's hands.
Which one?
The cup next to Jimmy Carter.
Oh, I think it's proportional. I mean, what's the conspiracy here?
I don't know. There's a conspiracy. Everybody's just talking about the picture. Just looks fucking weird.
That they've enlarged it to make Biden. It does seem a little. It does.
It's just fucked up.
It's almost like they weren't there.
That's like they were photoshopped into it.
Photoshopped them in.
That's exactly what it looks like to me.
Wrong.
They're way off on the proportions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's odd. It looks weird. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they weren't there, and I'm not saying it wasn't photoshopped. It just does not look. Look, that teacup over there looks like it fits Jimmy Carter.
But it looked like it would be like Andre the Giant palming a beer.
Yes.
Right. Like if Biden were to pick up that teacup.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right.
You know what that is right there? A picture of the two of the three worst presidents in the history of our country together.
Two of the three?
Yeah, if you put Obama in there, you'd have all three of them fuckers.
Oh.
And Jimmy Carter was a horrible president.
No, I'm not.
And Joe Biden's worse.
Well, at least Jimmy Carter had the pleasure of running his country, probably. I don't think Biden's even attempting that.
I think when it comes to having a heart to try to really help people, I think Jimmy Carter really is that kind of person. He's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, his policies were terrible.
But anyways, that was an interesting deal.
Hold on, let's see if he shot this turkey, because I think he did. I think Mossy Oak made a big deal about it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Looks like somebody whacked him up on his eye.
Well,
I can't imagine him being able to hold a fucking gun.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe, and like I said, I might be wrong.
Well, no, there's a picture of him with the second picture.
Yeah, but that's not the one that I saw. He was like sitting under a tree. We've got to find a different place for this fucking television, because I can't see anything.
That's him with the turkey.
Yeah, but I think that was a couple years ago.
Well, still, I'm impressed he's a hunter.
I think he's killed a bird every year.
I figured he was anti-gun. Really did.
I think.
Well, good for him then.
He's a big-time turkey hunter. Let me see if I can find it on Instagram.
His brother would have been a huge celebrity now if he was in presidency now.
Who was his brother?
Billy Carter, and he was a whole fucking drunk redneck, owned a gas station or something.
Oh, really?
Oh, he was an embarrassment to the family. He even had his own beer, Billy Beer.
Billy Beer.
Yep. But today's social world, he would have been the Kardashians.
Was he like the Kennedys?
No.
Or worse?
No. The Kennedys are classy rednecks. He's just a redneck. He's just a Southern Georgia boy.
Who?
Billy Carter.
Billy Carter is?
Oh, yeah, it was.
I don't even know if this will work.
Anyways, that's cool, though. I didn't know. I would have never guessed he was a hunter.
He is, yeah.
Well, George W. wasn't. That Massachusetts dickhead needs to go back home, or Maine, or wherever he's from.
Now that is not President Carter. That's President Carter.
Well, she's looking a little better than he is.
Yeah, I don't think I'll find it.
Nope, everybody's happy with that you send that. Did you see where yesterday Biden called something instead of .com, called it .com?
No.
Yeah.
He's on the wrong website.
Yeah, and that's what somebody said. Don't go into that website if it did. It was an adult website.
Now, is that him?
I
Yeah,
don't-
it's right there. Oh, no.
I don't. Mr. Fox.
Who the fuck is Mr. Fox?
I don't know. He's 90 years old.
Stayed all season, few misses. I thought that was fucking Carter.
No.
Looks like Carter, though. I'm not wrong.
Do what?
I just saw the picture. I didn't read the
That's
caption.
kind of racist.
It's not racist.
Just
It's
an old white
dude.
guy. So you think all old white guys look alike?
They do, Jeff.
That's absolutely racism at the best.
It's not racist.
Yes, it is.
It's ageophobic.
Okay. All right, let's
But
get
am I wrong? Does that not look like Jimmy Carter?
Yes, you're
If you
wrong. It
just-
doesn't
if
look like.
you
Which
just-
one of them?
The middle one, Jeff.
They don't look like Jimmy. None of them look like Jimmy Carter.
If you're just glancing at it, you're
No.
like, oh, hey, that's fucking Jimmy Carter right there.
Oh, I wouldn't even thought that.
You wouldn't?
No. There's Jimmy Carter.
That's
No.
fucking Jimmy Carter just
No.
thumping a turkey.
No. Oh, that's Steve Barber. I mean, fucking looks about the same.
No, it doesn't.
Just an old man.
That's Jimmy Carter.
No. All right, let's get off here.
Jeff's got shit to do.
Yep. You have a good week. Have a good weekend. This will come out on Thursday. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Check out all of our sponsors. Check out Goose Creek Retrievers. Check out Gundog Outdoors. The quick release system is the best investment you can get, and also the field trauma kit. Check out Pacific Custom Calls. Check out Blind Grass. Check out Bangtail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Dirty Duck Coffee, Lucky Duck, and the Looking Glass Duck Club podcast. They are back, boys and girls. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the podcast, we are joined by Jordan Davenport of New York State. We talk about what it's like hunting just right outside of New York City, and yeah, what an interesting podcast. He's in a very, very history-rich part of the nation. He also goes down to Arkansas, and he has a outfit down there. Very fun podcast, and I hope that you enjoy it. Here he is, Jordan Davenport.